how is it for Ster to make a presence here again in the world's largest bus and coach exhibition?
I must say the last few years were quite difficult, and that show is also quite important for us because it's gonna tell us really. We all know that lots of things has changed on the market. Bus builders are changing their location of their production. Suppliers the same. Uh, I'm going to repeat the same word is changing. I was saying that before, but now really we can see the big movement within bus builders, which really uh, determine our next step. So that show really going to show us really where that world is going. And I already, after like a couple of hours of walking yesterday and an hour today, talking with some bus builders, looking at the bus builders, looking at the parts which they're using, uh, really finding out where they produce. Yes, I can already see that location of the production for all different suppliers has changed, and bus assembly of the buses. I also spoke with few of the minibus builders. I already see that there is a big movement. Plus, there is another thing. Another year going to bring another probably changes because there are some new safety and security measures which EU going to implement. I already I already see that there is a lot of efforts from our side needed to follow those changes and a lot of intellectual really efforts to find the places where really the bus is going to be produced because that's connected with placing production and the products. Products also changing. I see that there is a big pressure on the cost of production, big pressure of the cost of the products we're delivering. Yes, there is a big pressure on ecology side. Yes, recycling. So the products has to change. I see that we still going around because of the cost pressure. We still see the same products, but I can already say that having in mind EU changes in the law regarding recycling, I already see the need of change in the product. So first of all, always we were talking about lightweight products, but now we need to talk about how we're going to recycle, and which materials we can recycle in a most effective way. So for, let's say, we were specialists in urban sector for the plastic sheets. We have to, I think, when you putting that all together, that the new materials going to be needed, and slightly different products, yes, which not necessarily going to bring different lower prices, but having in mind regulation, they will have to take the next steps, and that show supposed to give me some direction. But let's see.
Hey, a very interesting observations. I mean, on a very interesting line as well. From a product perspective, what's new here from Ster at the show that you're showcasing?
There is a whole number of products. Part of them are just how to say it, design changes. Yes, but if you look at the products, we can come back to my previous talk, and actually you're going to find that there are some. We're showing why there's some different materials like aluminium, like stainless steel. Yes, we're trying to find that show really. I want to see the response from the customers, how they respond to the new proposal, having in mind recycling, etc. What we spoke. We're showing them some prototypes of the seats from the different materials, and we would like to find out really from different regions what customers really says about this. Yes. If they are willing to do it, or maybe they're willing to stay with what they have already because it's cheap,
Right.
and we're going to find a way maybe in the future in the 3-4 years. That's also connected with the movement of the market now, which is changing. Mass production is changing. We have a new players, yes. We don't know how Chinese production will move, if they're going to deliver buses from China.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a whole number of European companies, which are just engineering studios, which have agreements with Chinese manufacturers of the buses. Yes, we will see how it works because EU says that they're supposed to localize production. As if they localize, it's good for us and it's the information that we need to put the production. If they want, we have to invest in Asia heavily. Yes, not like now. We were doing things checking a bit softer. Yes, India is actually a different place. In India, we put really seriously things, and we're really investing into factory, plastic injection, etc. But really, what happens now in Europe will tell us about really serious steps which we'll have to take it, because I can see the Chinese are getting better and better, and they really have a good product. Some of them I've seen buses they are really competitive now.
Right.
And there is an Indian player,
Yep.
yes, which also tried. Of course, they came and they just have a look around. Maybe it's not the right time for them, but they're already looking, and this is a correct step. Yes, they have a nice team, and I see that they work heavily on the new products. So we're gonna have lots of new players.
Mhm.
We will see some ideas of production, where they're going to produce, where they're going to be design centers versus EU policies, future policies and US policies, and going further to political changes in the world now, which is happening now.
Right.
We will have to put all this together within the next 12 months and find the next directions. Yes, it's very tough, very difficult.
Mm.
Honestly, from my 20-year experience, I have no idea, honestly. I have some very rough ideas, but honestly, you can't predict anything due to the financial situation of the whole world.
Mm.
Yes. Difficulties to establish strength in Asian versus European bus builders and manufacturers, suppliers.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know wave movement in the future. So we have a very tough thing to do with planning next steps for our companies, yes, as a sales, as a production, as a designer, in which kind of products to invest. Yes, what kind of products, buses going to be developed, which direction they're going to go, where they're going to be produced. It's so tricky for us now.
Yeah.
I can't answer some questions.
Very,
I have
very.
no knowledge. There's no knowledge.
Now, again, I think a very comprehensive update, which I think many of our other suppliers will echo, because it's that's how fast the whole global market is actually changing. And I think it's a challenge which particularly the global players like Ster will be facing. So, interesting observations. You touched upon India and China. Ster has been very serious about India for the last few years.
Mhm.
How are things in India?
Things in India are going very well, actually. For us, after 7 years of stagnation, really, customers were looking at us. They were saying that everything is, they like the product, but it's not the right time. The price is not the right one. I can say that the last 12 months brought us big rise in orders. Yes. So we are focused now on supporting factory and adding space, on adding processes. Yes, I don't want to go too far to say too much, but we had to actually, we're working now really on putting, on mirroring our Polish factory in India. Yes, orders are big, and we can get easy. I see that finally Indian industry actually appreciate the technology, and they want to get more and more. I must say that the Indian engines, of course, they need more support, because I can say that they've been not exposed to European world, so they're still trying to do based on the Indian knowledge. But what I can say already after a year and few meetings which we had within the last 6 months, that first time I can see big openness, and even from the cost point of view. So they're approving something more, and when we're talking about the product, they say we want to have a better product. We want to give a better product. We want to be like Volvo, like Mercedes, like the others. We want to be better. We have a better factory. We are better. We have a better qualified people. Yes, I hear very positive step, which shows me message. We want to learn. We want to develop. We want to be the leaders. You know, but politically, economically, India is in the spot now. This is our time. So I see lots of positive energy. I love India. I must say that I love India. If I compare to China, China is really, China have that feeling of, they made this plan a long time ago, and they are somewhere in the middle. And what they feel, but not necessarily going to work, is that they're winning that race. Not necessary, because China politically has changed totally. It is very isolated. Very isolated, which means that they start pushing others to take their solutions, technologies, and they are the best. This is first step really to lose the business. Yes, some of them doing very well, but if we really sit and think if it is really the progress, I say, yeah, it is a progress, but at this point it's just a good European bus. It is nothing new, and it is really in a similar cost, blah, blah, blah. Yes, they're getting some probably extra money to export and beat the market, but they haven't made any further steps really to start production, to localize something. Although European Union says that. Indians, we just have a one. one player, which came just now, and you already can hear the different production. So there are two different strategies. One strategy is we're going to copy, we're going to take over all the production, and we're going to do it from China. We're going to get all those small engineering offices which do it for us, design and sales. We're going to sell from China, and later sometime we're going to get rid of them. But we want to control everything in China. When Indians, just one company is coming, and they say, we want to conquer Europe, we want to start working on it. Maybe they don't know how, but we say we're going to invest it. We're going to get a factory. That's something that me as a European citizen want to hear. Yes, and the customers will want to hear, plus regulation says. So there is a long way because technology and other stuff for sure. But I see again that positive stand against the market where you're coming, like me. I came to India after a few years trying me to do things my way. Yes, European way. I learned, no man, you are indifferent. If you want to work with those people, you need to really learn their culture, how they eat, how they travel, how they spend the money, why they want to produce it, why the prime minister say localization, why he's building the law. Don't fight against it. Give them that and learn and become one of them. And I see after that, okay, it's still tough for me, as you know, but it works. And I see that the same policy, companies like, again, I love India because it's 7 years that I spent, so maybe I'm overacting, maybe positive, but I see that proper reaction. Yes, because there are some other companies which work already with European bus builders, because that changes, in Poland, the Scania, Volvo are closing factories. But everybody who take over the production, nobody wants to put any production lines around Europe. They want to do it from their country, sometimes outside of Europe. Yes, and there's plenty of examples. I'm not going to say it now. I don't know where you're going to send it, but they want to do it from their countries. That's not going to work. What I like in India, and this is really something which shows the future, is they're coming and saying, we're going to have a factory here. We already invested. I already know that they have a factory in Europe. I was surprised. I really was surprised. But I find that they have a factory here. Yes, and so basically they get technology and customers and they could build the recognition. We are able to do it something with Chinese they didn't want it to do for the last 15 years.